Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with another monthly celebrations video hop. And we are in August, which is crazy that we are already in the month of August. But for this month, I did decide to scrap some very recent photos of some pictures that I took of my daughter and I when we went back to school shopping. So we are going to celebrate back to school shopping in this layout today. And I'm just showing you all the items that I pulled from my stash. The first thing we're going to do here is take some stamps that I've been putting my stamps away and trying to make an effort to use stamps on all of my layouts. And so I am taking and I'm going to stamp a few little images here that will end up as parts of my embellishment clusters on this layout. So that's what I'm doing here. And all of the papers that I pulled for this one are actually from the, I believe Love Nicole is the brand. It's AC Moore's, their brand of paper. I believe they call it Love Nicole. And so they happen to have a sale one day, and I had picked up some papers, and these ones happened to be school themed. So I grabbed those out of my stash and they worked out perfectly for this layout. So there you see now I have stamped my little images that I'll use, and then I took that other pattern paper and I cut out a whole bunch of images. I stuck with anything that was black and white, red or blue. I did not pick any of the yellow items that were on that pattern paper, and those will kind of be my main embellishment for my layout, and they are also how I picked my color scheme, which ended up being this black, white, gray, red, and blue sort of color scheme. Because my photos also had multiple colors happening in the background, I did make them all black and white, as you'll see here in a second. That way they are not competing with the colors that I wanted to use for this layout. So first thing here, I am going to mat my photos. Two of them I will mat with that blue pattern paper, and then these other two photos will be matted, one with this gray and white and the other with the red and white text. These photos are, I believe they're like a 2x3 size, give or take. I used my Project Life app to put these photos together, and then I printed them on my Canon Selfie. I typically like to do smaller photos when I'm trying to get multiple photos on a layout, and that is simply because I don't like to do two-page layouts. I am not great at two-page layouts, and so for me to get multiple photos on a page, I like to create them on the Project Life app, make them a little bit smaller, and then that way I can get multiple photos and they don't feel like the whole page is just a giant photo. For me, not only do I like to tell stories with my scrapbooking, but it is a creative outlet for me, and so I like the ability to have room to put my embellishments and use up supplies and things like that on my layout. So I typically will be 1 to 2 photos, but with this one I was pretty happy to get 4. So here now you can see I'm going to start putting my layout background together. I'm using a piece of black cardstock for the base, and then on top of that I am using this lined pattern paper. It's kind of like a notebook. It's got the lines like a ruled notebook piece of paper, and so that will act as the base for my layout. Then I have that black pattern paper that has all the math and back to school kind of symbols on it, and I cut those into strips. I'm going with sort of a very loose, I guess you could say kind of a loose grid. I say that loosely. Or maybe even a bit of a block design. Again, I say that kind of loosely. But essentially, I am going with my photos at the top and bottom, and then I will have my 3 embellishment clusters, which if you've watched my videos for any length of time, you know that I am a big fan of my clusters, my 3 clusters on a layout, and so This layout is no different. Basically, all you see me doing here as I kind of lay out my page, what I'm trying to do is get a good mixture of my colors throughout my layout. My goal was to get one of those apples into each of my clusters, and I do believe that in the end I do add that third apple into the middle cluster, I believe. Don't quote me on that one, but I'm pretty sure. But essentially all I was trying to do was get a good balance of color around them. The 3 clusters in the triangle, you know, I don't need to have exactly the same. All my hearts don't have to be red or blue, but I'm trying to get a heart in each cluster. I'm trying to get a good balance of the blue and the black and the red, and so that is sort of my goal. Here now I am putting down my title, and I did put my title so that your eye reads it and brings you all the way through the layout starting at the top. And the title for this one is very simply just Back to School Shopping, which is exactly what my daughter and I were doing. It was really fun to be able to spend this day with her. And I think now that she's older and, you know, definitely has her own style and her own taste, it's nice that she and I can go out and sort of spend the day together and just get her some new things for her new year at school. And so this was sort of a fun day to remember. Now, this bottom cluster that you see me working on here, I will probably put my journaling on that sort of little, almost like a notebook page again beside that bottom photo. And I will either type it or handwrite it, but that will be where my journaling will eventually go on this page. Now, off camera, I will glue all of this down, and there will be still photos at the end. So here I'm showing you I've glued everything down. As a last finishing touch, I am just going to put the date on this layout as well as some sequins. So I will also remind you that all the links for all the other ladies that are in this monthly celebrations hop are down below. So please make sure you go through and watch all of the videos in the hop and leave everyone some love. There's so many talented ladies in this hop. But with that, guys, that completes this layout, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.